Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy X HD Remaster. I am actually going to head back into Luca and let's do some scouting. Now, we're able to actually start recruiting people to play Blitzball, and being that we're here, we might as well do that. So let's zip back on in here, and I passed up that chest if you noticed there, but this is old footage that I'm not necessarily keeping. I'm actually quite a ways ahead of this already, but anyways, so here is our first character that we can grab, and this is Jamal. Jamal is actually a pretty decent goalie, if I'm remembering correctly, for the time being anyway. Let me just take a look here. Unfortunately, my scouting level, because I haven't actually played any games yet, the scouting level is really low. And basically, as you win games, your scouting level will go up, and that'll actually kind of allow you to get more information about these different characters. But as of right now, with a scout level of 1, we really only get the absolute basics here. So it shows, obviously, the name of the character, the level, what team they're on. Free means that they're a free agent, meaning that we can actually get them on our team. I think I'll just sign him here for a game, so that we can take a look at his stats. But all right, so that's the first one. The next character here, let's head on in. Let me just see here. Jamal. Yeah, he's got a catch stat of 14 at level 1. That's pretty good. So he actually does make a pretty decent goalie right away. Here's our next character, and this is Shami. Shami is a good forward, meaning she is one of the characters that's a pretty decent at. I guess just like, she's going to be the one that you can kind of like, it's easier to score with her. Let me just see here. So at level 1, yeah, she's got a shot rating of 10. Her block is terrible. Pass is, middling. Her attack is only a 4. That's a little bit rough, and I kind of like having a little bit more of an attack stat for my forwards, because they're going to be engaging with ball carriers quite a bit. And then her endurance is 11, which is okay. So she may be able to break a tackle. But all right, anyways, let's head on in and speak with Zealots. I think he's next. Yeah, he's sitting down right here. I'm actually gonna recruit him too. So let's sign him for a game. This is all really, one game here is going to be pretty cheap. I'll be honest though, I don't really like playing a whole lot of Blitzball anymore until I get to Guado Salam. The reason for that is there's a lot of characters there that I actually like, and there isn't that much benefit to be gained from Blitzball. At least early on, and then on top of that, we're gonna have you can maybe potentially run into some cash issues. I mean, right now I've got 7,800, which is a pretty decent amount, but playing Blitzball actually does chew up a lot of our cash. So here's Wedge. I'm gonna sign him as well. Wedge is a good. Well, he's the second best goalie, I believe, in the entire game. It's it takes him a long time to get there. Like probably level 70 or 80 is where he even becomes even somewhat usable. He's not really usable up until that point though, as a goalie. So again, that's super late game. He's a good or a decent forward up until that point, but yeah, that's my take on Wedge. All right, so here's Biggs. I actually don't remember. Let's just take a look here at Biggs. Biggs. All right, so Biggs at level 1. 10 endurance, that's okay. That's not great. 5 attack, again, same deal, kind of okay. Nothing too fancy there. Passes 3, that's horrid. Block of 2, and then shot 11. He's an okay forward then. Let's just take a look here at his endgame stats. Yeah, he doesn't really change much. He probably remains an okay forward. Well, actually, he's probably a garbage forward, to be completely honest. Yeah, and then he ends up with a 38 attack rating. That's not good. Endurance of 82 and 57 speed. Yeah, I'll be honest. He's geared toward the forward position, but I think that he's not good, and I don't even think he's good right now. So anyways, let's head on in here to the this will be the Besaid locker room. So this is where all the Besaid Aurochs stay. And the first thing that I want to do is actually show you back in this this locker back here is the there it is. All right, so the Jupiter Crest. That's for Wakka's best weapon, and so that'll be a lot more relevant later on. But anyways, all right. So here's Dado. Honestly, I don't really like most of the Besaid Aurochs. The only thing that's kind of nice about them is they're really, like Letty here, is really cheap. 40 gil for their salary. Dado only costs you 30 per game. Jasu's really cheap at 10. Yeah, that guy's working for peanuts. Keepa 60. Is he the most expensive? He actually might be the most expensive. Yeah, and then bot is 50. Yeah, so well the goalie is getting the most cash here. That's probably it probably is the case that he is worth actually the most as well. Honestly, again, I don't actually end up using any of the Besaid Aurochs. Keepa actually apparently makes a pretty good shooter at the end of the game, or a good forward, because he's got a shot rating of 99. But the amount of development that it's going to take to get you there is a lot. But also, his endurance is trash. At level 99, he's only got a 45 endurance, which is extremely low for a forward. So he's probably not going to be breaking any tackles. At that point, you're probably just going to be shooting by the defenders and hoping that they don't have a really good block rating. But that's not something to rely on. I suppose with his endurance, he could use tackle slip and kind of rely on that. But even then, I don't really like doing that either. I'll be honest. I really don't put any effort into getting other forwards. Because I think that Titus is so good. You can rely on him and his and honestly on Jack shot pretty much the entire game. And so again, I don't really invest in any of the forwards. So all right, so it's funny these two right here. There are characters that play Blitzball that look exactly like those two, but I suppose that's the case though with a lot of the I guess NPCs in the game. Is a lot of them use the same palette, and so they look the same. Like that guard back there, that looks exactly like Biggs, and then and Biggs is basically just standing right here. But all right, so let's move on. We're gonna start in the docks area, and the first one is off here to the left. I think I might have mentioned this guy in one of the earlier videos, but this is Netis. He's pretty cheap. I mean, 60 gil. And then, all right, so let's just take a look at his level 1 stats here. 12 endurance is pretty decent. This guy's a forward, or he's meant to be a forward. And then a shot rating of 10. His block is terrible, passing is terrible, and his attack is only a 2. So I'll be honest, I don't like this guy at all. And he doesn't really get that much better, I would argue, over the course of the game either. He stays with a really, really low attack rating, which I don't like at all on forwards. You usually don't get a whole lot though out of the forwards either. But again, I would rather have a higher attack on a forward, if I suppose again, if I actually cared about you know, recruiting any forwards. Honestly, in the team that I've got right now, I don't even use a different forward. I actually have more of another like defender type character as my other forward. So this is where all of the Luca Goers are standing. Let's just see here. So this is Bixen. I think this is Grav here. I'll be honest, I think that all of the Goers are not very good. Here's Abis. I think this is their goalie. Yeah, Rowdy is their goalie. Let me see. He's really cheap too. He's only 10 gil for each game. And then here are their defenders in the back. Belgerda, and then this should be Dorum. Yeah. Yeah, again, same deal. It's funny too because the Goers are you know, pretty brutal, or they can be pretty brutal for that first game. But I'll be honest, I think that their problem is really just their growth. I just don't think that they're just not a good end game team, and they're not good end game players. Probably even mid game they're not that great. But and then here's the Ronso. They're all terrible. I'll be completely honest. I think that I don't like the Ronso at all. They're extremely slow. That's their biggest weakness, and speed is actually a pretty decent, or a pretty important stat, I should say. Wow, what is with this guy? What? That can't. Is that right? His salary's 3,500 gil? That seems bonkers. What? Have I just never looked at this guy before? What the heck? Wow, I am shocked. Maybe it's obvious, but I am shocked. I do not understand this at all. What's this guy's name? Basic Ronso. Okay, so let's just see here. I mean, as with most of the Ronso, they're able to take tackles really well. They all have a very, very high endurance stat. But I guess this guy's got a really good shot stat, so he's definitely geared toward a forward. His block is terrible. His passing is horrid. His attack is okay. 47. I mean, that's not great, but that's okay for a forward. His endurance is really high, but his speed is 43. Yeah, like again, as with all Ronsos. And by the way, those are level 99 stats. I'll be honest though, that's shocking to me that his salary is 3,500 gil. That is insane. Wow. Okay. Well, so here's Nuvi. Wow, same deal. She's very expensive too. 650 gil a pop, or for each game. Zamzi. Is that? Gosh, that just seems so crazy. It's making me wonder if that's per game, but that doesn't seem right. Yeah, that doesn't. 30 games. Yeah, that is each game. What the? Wow. I'm just blown away right now. I don't think I ever looked at that guy and how much he gets paid. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. So, I suppose if you wanted to, you could stick around. I guess in Luca, and hire these guys. So the problem also is that these guys eventually leave here, and they won't be. After we've progressed far to a certain point, I believe they leave the docks here. And again, you know, honestly, I just think they're all terrible, and so there isn't really any reason, in my opinion, to grab them. But again, they're really tanky. That's the Ronso deal. Super tanky, and you know, so they can usually survive tackles pretty well, but you know, they're super slow, and I don't know. Apparently, one of them is just costs a small fortune. But all right, so let's take a look at these characters that I actually did pick up, and we'll just. All right, so I picked up Wedge. Excuse me, sorry. So his endurance is 9. his shot is really good. I mean, look at that, 17. I wonder if he's the best shooter at level 1. That's just insane. I mean, that's a really high shot rating. So here, these are the techniques that he starts out with too. It's wild. He starts out with nap pass 3. That is a really high level passing skill. He's not able to actually use it at level 1 because it costs like 500 HP, but it's funny that he starts out with that. And I mean, I guess the other thing with him is, you know, he has a really low pass rating, and it stays really low for a very long time. And so I suppose once you start getting you know, enough HP to actually use the nap pass, then that's kind of cool. But the problem with Wedge is because he doesn't have a cheaper passing ability. It's hard to level him, other than just shooting, you know, which, I mean, if that's what you're hiring for, or hiring him for, you know, that's what you're going to be doing a lot, is just taking shots on the goal. But yeah, he doesn't actually have that many techniques either. So, alright, so let's take a look here at, actually, let's take a look at some of the other characters that we actually started with. So, here's Dado. I mean, it looks actually kind of like he's geared toward being a forward. I think that's pointless. He's got a lot of, it's funny how many open technique slots he has. That's crazy. So here's Letty. Letty is okay. He's an okay midfielder. So this is already his level 2 stat, so I'm sure I must have gained a level with him during the Luca Goers game. But yeah, 7 endurance, meh. I mean, his passing stat is okay. His attack stat's only a 5, blocks 5. So he's pretty average. But again, probably a decent, or at least a passable midfielder for the time being. Here's Jasu, level 2, so his passing is 7, which is not great. Attack is 10, though. That's pretty good for, you know, this low level. And then his block rating is 5, so he's an okay defender. Barely has any open tech spots. Here's Bada. Let's see here. Turns is 3, passing is 6, attack is 10. So he's another. He's geared toward defending for sure, right off the bat. But and he actually does. Let's see here. He starts with Venom Tackle, and then Pile Venom. That's actually kind of impressive. It's pretty rare to have that on a character so early on in the game. So we already looked at Wedge. Let's take a look at Jamal though. So I think Jamal is So Jamal is the potential goalie. So he's got a catch stat of 14. That's really good. And so honestly, the rest of his stats are pretty relevant. But but yeah, I think he does make a pretty good goalie. Very interesting key techniques though. Also, spin, ball, tackle, slip, and tackle, slip 2. Those are not techniques that you would expect would be that useful on a goalie. Here he has a complete blank first page. That's terrible. Yeah, and then there's super goalie. Okay, so that's crazy. So spin ball. So that's more of a forward ability that actually adds shot to your to your shots. And then tackle slip and tackle slip 2. Oh yeah, you wouldn't even be able to learn those yet. Tackle slip and tackle slip 2 are actually on the first column of the left on this page, which are not open right now. So we would have to learn spin ball first, or use tech find to unlock stuff for him. But yeah, this guy's wild. This is crazy. It's gonna be hard to level this guy too. I mean, honestly, you know, you're gonna probably leave him in the you pretty much have to leave him in the goalie position. And then once you've learned spin ball, then hopefully you unlock some more spots for some actually like passing abilities, so that you can level a little bit faster. But interesting guy. All right, so let's talk Zealots next here. So endurance 6, that's really bad. Pass 5, that's bad. Shot. Okay, 15 attack and 11 block. This guy is definitely then geared toward the like a defensive, you know, position. Yeah, anti-venom venom pass, tackle slip. So he starts out with venom tackle, nap tackle. Those are pretty good. Wither Tackle. Yeah, so this guy's got high risk. High risk kind of nerfs down your stats, but you get double experience, so that's interesting. He's one of the rare characters that actually starts with that, and that's a pain to actually get that that tech. Generally, it's a good idea to, if the character has that spot open, and what I mean by that is, if you see the the dashed little lines there on the bottom left-hand corner, that means that technique, and I don't know that one off the top of my head. That looks like, I mean, that's a route. Actually, let me just take a look here, because it's gonna drive me nuts. That's anti-venom down in the bottom left-hand corner there. But anyways, so what you can do for techniques like high risk. High risk is a reward, an extremely rare reward from league play. And the problem with that one is a lot of characters don't have that spot open. So again, as you can see here, like this character has almost nothing open right now. And so what you would need to do there is use Tech Find on that spot where high risk is at right now on some of the other characters, right? So like, let's just say, actually Jamal's not a good option, is he? Yeah, because Jamal's actually has that spot open. Let's check Wedge. I don't think Wedge does. Yeah, I don't think Wedge does. It's hard to tell right now from, let me just see here. Yeah, regen good morning is underneath regen and then high risk. Yeah, so Wedge is not actually able to have high risk there right now. So you would have to use Tech Find and then, again, win it. I mean, that's not the best way to get high risk, though. The best way to get high risk is actually to open up the slot and then basically let another team pick up that character for a while and then have the AI learn it for you. But yeah, wow. I guess without taking too much longer here, this is really it. Again, I would say Jamal is probably a good pickup for right now. I hesitate to suggest Wedge. I like Wedge, but I like him as a goalie, and leveling him is extremely difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually really tough to level him, mostly because his passing stat is so bad, and so it's a decent idea, I suppose, to well, there's a couple of things that you could do. You could do Tech Finds and try to find him, or open up some slots for him to get passing abilities, or leave him as a. Well, yeah, I hesitate to say leave him as a goalie. You probably, if you want to actually level him, you want to start him off as a forward. Again, though, I don't really like doing that. I think Titus is the best forward in the game, and I don't think there's really any reason to bother with anybody else. Because they don't get the same techs like Jack Shot that he does. But yeah, that's my take. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll be honest. My recommendation is at least maybe it's probably not a bad idea to grab the characters that you want. If there's characters that are available right now that you want to get on your Blitzball team, grab them now. But for me personally, I don't actually play any games until Guado Salam. There's another character on the way, and I'll be pointing him out when we actually get there. But the character I'm referring to is Rop, is his name, and he's a amazing player, one of the best players in the game, and he's available on the way to Guado Salam, and honestly not too far off. But the problem is if you start playing right now, the AI may pick up Rop on you, and another team may get him. But if you don't play right now, he will still definitely be available for you when you, I guess, are able to recruit him. The Guado Glories, on the other hand, I actually really like them, but we won't be able to get them initially when we get to Guado Salam if we don't play at all, because they will all be still playing under contract for the Guado Glory. So again, what I usually do is recruit the characters that I want up until Guado Salam, then I start playing in Guado Salam, and then as the Guado players become available, then I basically steal them from the from the Guado Glories, and that'll be my kind of final team. I do definitely recommend grabbing Wedge. For me specifically, I'm going to be playing the vast majority, probably, of my Blitzball games are going to be played prior to being able to get the best goalie in the game. So I'll have to settle for Wedge, who is the second best goalie in the game. So, you know, it is quite the journey to be able to take him all the way to 99. And he is a terrible goalie up until really, you know, 80s at least. So that's not going to be for everybody. You know, if you're not planning on spending much time with Blitzball, then definitely don't go that route. And you know, just use Jamal, and he will do a good job for you. So that is going to be it for this one. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.